The red and blue lights flashed against the cracked windshield like a warning from the universe itself. Daniel Carter gripped the steering wheel of his old sedan, his heart sinking as the police car pulled in behind him. The engine coughed, shuddered, and finally went quiet, almost embarrassed, as if it knew it had failed him at the worst possible moment. In the back seat, his 7-year-old daughter Lily hugged her backpack to her chest, her eyes wide with confusion and fear. Daniel exhaled slowly. Not today, he thought. Please, not today. Daniel was late, again. Late for his second job, late for picking Lily up from after-school care, late for life in general. Since his wife, Emma, had passed away 3 years earlier after a sudden illness, time had felt like an enemy he could never outrun. Mornings were a blur of packed lunches, mismatched socks, and whispered reassurances that Daddy would be okay. Nights were worse, quiet, heavy, filled with memories he didn't know how to escape. And now, pulled over on the side of a busy road, he felt the familiar weight of failure press down on his chest. The police officer stepped out of her car, calm and professional. She was in her early 30s, Daniel guessed, with her hair pulled into a neat bun and a face that looked both firm and kind. Her name badge read Officer Sarah Mitchell. She approached the driver's side, her boots crunching softly on the gravel. Daniel rolled down the window, already rehearsing his apology, already calculating how much this ticket would cost him. Groceries or electricity, gas or Lily's school shoes. "Good afternoon, sir," Officer Mitchell said, her voice steady. "Do you know why I pulled you over?" Daniel swallowed. I think so," he replied. "I was speeding. I'm sorry. I didn't realize how fast I was going." She nodded, glancing at her radar gun. "You were going 15 miles over the limit. License and registration, please." Daniel handed them over with shaking hands. Lily leaned forward from the back seat, her small voice trembling. "Daddy, are you in trouble?" Daniel forced a smile, twisting around to look at her. "It's okay, sweetheart. Just stay buckled, all right?" Officer Mitchell noticed the child then, her gaze softening for just a moment before she returned to her professional composure. She stepped back to her patrol car, leaving Daniel alone with his thoughts. He stared straight ahead, memories flooding his mind. Emma's laugh, the way she used to squeeze his hand when things felt overwhelming, the promise they made to always protect Lily together. "I'm trying," he told her silently. "I really am." When Officer Mitchell returned, she held her ticket book in hand. Daniel's stomach tightened. He knew the routine. He had been pulled over before. Broken taillights, expired tags, things that came with driving an old car you couldn't afford to replace. This time felt different, though. This time, he felt like the universe was testing how much more he could take. "Mr. Carter," she said, glancing at his license, "can you tell me where you were headed in such a hurry?" Daniel hesitated. Part of him wanted to lie, to say it was nothing important. But exhaustion won. "I was picking up my daughter from after-school care," he said quietly. "They charge extra if I'm late. And then I have to get to my night shift at the warehouse." Officer Mitchell paused, pen hovering over the page. "Night shift?" "Yes, ma'am. I work construction during the day when I can get the hours, and nights at the warehouse. It's just me and her." He nodded toward Lily. There was a brief silence. Traffic rushed past them, indifferent and loud. Officer Mitchell looked at Lily again, then back at Daniel. "Is her mother—" "She passed away," Daniel said, the words still sharp even after 3 years. "Cancer." Something changed in Officer Mitchell's expression then. It was subtle, but Daniel noticed it. The way her shoulders relaxed, the way her eyes softened with something deeper than sympathy. She closed the ticket book slowly. "Mr. Carter," she said, "I need you to listen to me carefully." Daniel's heart pounded. Here it comes, he thought. The lecture, the fine, the reminder of how far behind I am. Instead, she said, "I'm not going to write you a ticket today." He blinked. You're not?" "No," she replied gently. "But I am going to ask you to slow down. Lily needs you safe more than she needs you on time." Daniel nodded, his throat tight. "Thank you. I promise." Officer Mitchell took a step closer, lowering her voice. "Can I ask you something else? And you don't have to answer, if you don't want to." Daniel shrugged. "Okay, how are you really doing?" she asked. The question caught him off guard. No one ever asked him that, not genuinely, not without expecting a polite fine in return. His defenses crumbled. He looked down at his hands, rough and cracked from years of labor. I'm tired, he admitted. I'm doing everything I can, but it never feels like enough. I just want to give her a good life. Lily reached forward, placing her small hand on his shoulder. You do, Daddy? Daniel's eyes filled with tears. Officer Mitchell swallowed hard. For a moment, she seemed to be fighting her own emotions. Mr. Carter, she said quietly, I became a police officer because I wanted to help people on their worst days. But sometimes, helping doesn't look like a ticket or an arrest. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small card. This is my personal card, she said, handing it to him. On the back is the number for a local community program. They help single parents with childcare, food assistance, even car repairs. Daniel stared at the card, stunned. I didn't know things like that existed. Most people don't, she replied. I didn't either. Until I needed help myself. Daniel looked up. You? She nodded. I was raised by a single father. He worked 2 jobs just like you. There were days he skipped meals so I could eat. A police officer once showed him kindness when he thought the world had given up on him. That moment changed our lives. She smiled softly. I guess today, I'm paying it forward. Daniel felt something break open inside him, a mix of relief, gratitude, and hope he hadn't allowed himself to feel in years. Thank you, he whispered. You have no idea what this means to us. Officer Mitchell glanced at Lily. Take care of your dad, okay? Lily nodded seriously. I will. As Officer Mitchell walked back to her car, Daniel sat there for a long moment, breathing deeply. The road ahead didn't suddenly become easier. His bills didn't disappear. His grief didn't vanish. But something had shifted. For the first time in a long while, he didn't feel completely alone. That night, Daniel called the number on the card. Within weeks, things began to change. Small changes, but real ones. He received help with after-school care, allowing him to work without constant fear of being late. A local mechanic volunteered to fix his car at a reduced cost. He even found a better-paying job through a community connection. Each act of kindness felt like a brick in a bridge he hadn't known he was building. Months later, on a sunny Saturday afternoon, Daniel and Lily stood at a community park, watching a charity softball game. Daniel spotted a familiar face near the sidelines, Officer Sarah Mitchell, laughing with a group of kids. When she noticed him, she waved. Daniel walked over, Lily bouncing beside him. Officer Mitchell, he said, smiling. I just wanted to say thank you. Again. She shook her head. No thanks needed. How are you two? We're good, Daniel said, meaning it this time. Really good. As they parted ways, Daniel watched Lily run toward the playground, her laughter ringing through the air. He realized then that one moment of compassion, one decision to see a person instead of a problem, had changed the course of his life. Sometimes it isn't the ticket that changes you. It's the kindness. That reminds you that humanity still exists, and that even on the side of a busy road, hope can find you.